Hey, what's up everyone? How you guys doing today? Danny Lightning here. Hopefully everybody is awesome. Let me make sure I got this thing on live chat. I'm logging on to the game right now, then we'll start reviewing some hangars. I see we got some random person. What's up, man? How you doing? We got Dark Matter, we got Ghost. Hey, Hairbrain. Here, oh my god, Hero Brian. I can't talk today. Kenna, what's up, Nexus? Or NEXU Nexu, how's it going? I probably been saying your name wrong for a long time. Yeah, nice to see you guys. Thanks for coming out. I appreciate everybody a lot. Where is the thing at? So for some reason that is not working. 1 minute here. Properties. More robots. There we go. We got her up on the screen. And we should be pretty much ready to rock and roll. So if you would like your hangar reviewed, put your ID in the game chat. Alright. Throw your ID in the game chat. Make sure you read the pinned comment up there. Oh man, my voice is all like crappy today, so it is what it is, I guess. Another leaderboard's up. Alright, so I see the first ID has been posted. Let me go ahead and grab that and see if I can get you up on the screen. Season over, oh my goodness. So I want to find search for players. There we go. For some reason it didn't copy. Hold on a second. I'm having a problem. I think I didn't turn on my little keyboard, which is... No, it's on. Why can't I paste this into the game? What happened here? I think I'm having a malfunction. 1 second. Copy. Paste. There we go. Now it's working. Alright, so the first hangar review for the day. Just remember, guys, it takes a few minutes for me to get through each one of these, so I'm going to do my best. So you got a level 40 Indra with some nice weapons on it. Cool, cool. That looks pretty good overall. Levels are a little bit low. You got a Yang Li pilot. Warrior Typhon. We got a Lynx, we got a Dagon, we got a Crisis, and a Siren. So the main thing I'm seeing right now is for Masters, your levels are a little bit low. I feel like I'm about to lose my voice, sorry. So your levels are a little bit low. Yeah. You really want to start getting up to as close to level 12 as possible here. My advice is start leveling all this stuff up. I mean, you got good weapons on all these. You got Magnetars, Tamers, you got stakes on here, hazards. So the stakes aren't as good as they used to be. I would suggest maybe if you're having really good luck with the stakes, by all means keep them. But if you're just kind of like, they're so-so, maybe work on getting something like the Bersant or some of those new Subduers or something to throw on top of there, or even a set of Redeemers. But I mean, your hangar looks really good, except for some of the levels are low. But yeah, besides the levels being low, that's a really nice hangar overall. I like it. But I think in Masters, I would be trying to get everything up to level 12 as quickly as possible. So my advice would be this. Work on getting all of your robots up to level 9. I would get all the robots to 9. Then I would focus on getting all the weapons to 12. And then get the robots to 12. And then start Mark IIing everything. That's kind of how I would look at this here. That's what I would do. That's exactly how I would do it. So. Alright, so yeah, nice hangar. Sorry guys, my voice is all messed up today. But it is what it is. Dark wants his ultimate Aries reviewed. All right. I'm going to try and get these the best I can in the order that they come in, but unfortunately I know I'm going to miss some IDs here and there. All right, so you got good weapons on there. You got a... So the only thing about the Kestrel is you're probably not going to be playing the Aries close enough to death mark anybody. But when you get kills, you're going to get the extra speed and stuff, so there is that. I would probably run a different drone just because you're probably not taking advantage of the death mark there. I might think about putting a reviver on there if you find that he dies super easy. So you got the Aries pilot, destroyer, master gunsmith, armor expert, wonder worker, mechanic, roadhog, and quartermaster. Now, I'm not sure how beneficial mechanic is for the Aries. I mean, it's a good skill for anything, but I might try and get the one where when you get low on health, you get the defense points. I think that would be more beneficial on such a squishy robot. I mean, overall, it looks really good, though. I would say maybe change out that pilot skill and try a different drone if you're not happy with it. I know you said you were having a hard time playing this. Then there's always the possibility that it just doesn't fit your playing style. I mean, there's a lot of robots out there that are really good, and that doesn't always mean you're going to be good with it or I'm going to be good with it. For example, when Hawk was the ultimate best robot in the game, I was never a good Hawk player. As to Danny, what's up, buddy? How you doing, guys? Alright, so... Hold on a second. Alright, here comes the next one. Yeah, Anti, you got a nice hangar there, buddy. It's really good. Alright, so I'm not sure which one of these is you. I'm going to go ahead and guess it's probably the level 30 hangar. So when you post your ID, you might want to post your platform as well, because sometimes there are more than one person. Alright, so you're in Diamond. These levels are definitely low on this robot. Some of the weapons and robots need leveled up. So those are good weapons for the Ophion. That's a really good setup. Just level those up a little more. So for the Mars, you got Pulsar, Damper, Pulsar. I would probably try and get another... Well, you know what? You know, for a diamond player, that's really good. So you got three really nice weapons on there. So that's a great setup. So Wayland is a robot that you're probably not going to play for a long period of time. I think you're eventually going to outgrow the Wayland. So I don't think I would put too many resources into the Wayland. It's a fun robot to play every once in a while. It's a great healer. It's really good in the lower leagues, but you will outgrow that once you move up in leagues. So you got a Curry with some really awesome weapons. You got a Kefri with some really awesome weapons. So my advice here would be get all of your weapons and robots up to around level 6. I would kind of level everything up evenly to about level 6. Then get your weapons to 8, robots to 8. And then just kind of always try and keep the weapons a couple levels higher than the robots. So you got a Heimdall at level 35 with a Yang Li and some nice... Yeah, I mean, I think everything's good here other than the Wayland and the levels. I mean, you definitely need to work on the drones a little bit, but drones are harder to get. So drones are one of those deals where I'm not going to comment on as much because you'll kind of get the drones as you get them. I can take the drones off my robots and still play 100% fine. So drones aren't as important as good pilot skills and stuff. I mean, if I went through everybody's pilot skills, it would take way too long, but we're just going to be looking at, you know, weapons and robots, basically. Alright, so the YouTube chat moved on me, so I lost my place on IDs, so unfortunately that does happen. So I'm going to miss some IDs here and there because of that. I wish it would stop doing that, but... So, you know, if I skip over your ID and you're 100% sure I skipped over it, you know, you can always post it again. Just don't spam it over and over. Sorry if my voice sounds crappy today. Alright, so we got J-Force, JC-Force 8 in Expert. Alright, nice setup on that. We got an Orochi with a nice setup. Another Orochi with a nice but crazy setup. I don't really mind that those weapons don't match because I think those all work together very well for the most part. So you got a Dagon with some splinters, Magnetar, Trickster. So I would probably try to do something with that Magnetar, maybe get another Splinter or maybe even get another Magnetar. So the only thing I don't like here, oh, you got two Magnetars. Okay, gotcha. I'm not sure that I would want to have the one Splinter. I think I would try to get another Rust or DOT weapon, or maybe get another Magnetar to replace the Splinter. Now, the Splinters are great weapons, but it just doesn't really match with the rest of the weapons. But truth is, you can run some pretty wacky builds on this and it'll work just fine. So it's not actually a problem, that's just a suggestion on the Dagon. But again, for an expert player, I think you want to work on leveling some of this up a little bit more. I mean, some of these weapons are really low level. My advice is try and get all your robots and weapons up to level 9 as quickly as possible. Level 8 or level 9... Alright. But yeah, I mean, overall, you got a nice setup. So your Titan's looking good. I like the Titan. I like the weapons. Try and get those Titan weapons up just a little bit more. Maybe work on those drones a little bit. So one thing I will say about the drones there, I do like the armadillo drone, but it's only beneficial. It's only beneficial if you get a couple of beacons and a couple of kills really quick with that robot. Because when you first start off, that drone is going to be doing very little for you. So I don't think that's the best drone on anything other than like your very first robot. If you can drop a robot, run over and get 2 beacons really fast and maybe get 1 kill, then that drone starts kicking and doing well. So I don't know if that's the right drone for a lot of robots. It's a good drone if you use it on the right bot and drop it at the right time, but so if your Dagon's getting a lot of kills though, that might actually be pretty good. So I mean, it's kind of up to you, but it doesn't do as much. Again, sorry if my voice is all hoarse and crappy. I apologize for that. Let's hit the back button. Hopefully it doesn't stay like this very long. Last time it was like this, it was like 2 weeks. It sucks when your voice is all scratchy. Alright, so we got a diamond player here with a name that I cannot even come close to reading. I don't know what that says. That looks like some sort of ancient alien writing right there. Alright, so we got Oxminos with some Pantagruels in the Squall. I would try and get another Pantagruel for that. Or if you can, try and maybe get some Mahavajras and Vajras. Those are really good on there. Or even the Avoras and the Avora and the you know, the other one that matches it. The other one with the car name that I can't remember. Now, I will say this. I personally wouldn't spend any more gold until you open that 5th robot slot, because it's really important to have all 5 robots. Because, you know, if 4 of your robots die and you're out of the battle, then you leave your team hanging if you don't have all 5 slots. So you want to have all 5 as quickly as possible. So don't spend any more gold on anything until you open that last slot. So you got a Mars with 2 Hurricanes and an Orkan. So Orkans are terrible weapons unless you have the special edition. The new Ultimate Orkans are great, but the original Orkans will take 20 minutes to kill a player, even when they're maxed out, I think, these days. So I would try and get something else. I mean, Hurricanes are okay weapons. I don't like them. Personally, I don't play those weapons. I just feel like they're just kind of so-so. So I personally think I would change all of the weapons on the Mars. You could go with like the radiation weapons, or maybe some like Pulsar Magnetar setup. That would be really good on there. So you got some Ophion with a Scotty, Deceiver, and a Tehran. So those weapons probably don't work well together. I like the Deceiver. The Deceiver is very good. Tehran is a very good weapon, but I don't really like the Scotties. I would rather run another Tehran, or maybe just put on some Pulsars, or some of those grenade launcher weapons would be really good. So the Angler's got Needle, Halo, and Stake. Alright, Halos, unfortunately, I don't feel they're very good weapons at the moment. So I think what I would probably do here is... I haven't really played the Angler for a little while. I would try and find a heavy weapon that hits really hard at close range. I think the Needles are good to give you the extra shield, so if you were like running the 3 Needles and 1 really hard hitting heavy weapon, that would be cool. But yeah, I'm not really familiar with the playstyle of the Angler right now, because I know they nerfed the heck out of it and I haven't played it for a while, so I'm guessing it's still pretty good up close. But I would say try and get yourself maybe a Redeemer. I think a Redeemer would be really good up top. If you're playing it at close range, a Puncher could be okay for the lockdown. Or even Sonic weapons are really, really good on there. But I don't really like the setup you have on that, personally. So we got Ophion with 2 Tehrans and a Venom. Not too bad. I mean, I think this hangar kind of needs a lot of work here, honestly. So the Mars, I think the Mars is a cool robot. The Ophions are great robots. And the Angler is still really good if you don't mind something that's slow, but... I mean, you got some nice pilots and all, so I think you really just need to work on some weapons and get that 5th slot open right here. Now, I don't think the Needles and the Stake are a bad choice, but I would definitely get rid of the Halo as quickly as possible and get something else besides the Halo. Alright, so I'm feeling kind of lazy today, so hopefully my reviews don't suck. Alright, so we got one here. Did I say lazy? I mean, I'm feeling lousy. I don't know if I said lazy or lousy. I'm a little bit out of it today. Alright, we got a Mender with Toxin, Venom, Toxin. That's pretty decent, actually. Those weapons need leveled up ASAP if you're going to run those. I would rather run something with lockdown, like the Magnetars and Pulsar, because I think those are better support weapons, and this is a support robot. You got a Tehran Sheriff Redeemer. I like it. I think those are great weapons on there. You got a Kefri with Toxins. I don't really have a problem with that. I mean, I think those weapons are very good on the tanky Tiger robots. You got Prismas on a Crisis. I've never actually played that, but I would assume that would be a good build. If you're trying to play that thing from a distance, I think that would be an actual really good build. Now, when it comes to your Hawk, though, I don't like the Dragons or the Marquee weapons, and I don't like the ECUs. Now, for a Diamond League hangar, this is really darn good. I mean, this is a really, really good hangar for somebody in Diamond League. I would work on getting some different weapons for this Hawk, though. I would get some nice weapons that hit really hard from 500 or 600 meters away. Like, I really like the blight type of weapons. The radiation weapons are really good on there. I do like the flaming rockets with the blast effect. I don't really like those on most robots, but I like those on the Hawk. You could probably go with... What else is good on this robot these days? Oh yeah, not Magnetar. Is it Magnetar? No, it's Nucleon Quarker type of weapons are really good on the Hawk as well, I think, and you can build those in the workshop. So you got an Arthur with Cyclone, Basilisk, and Crate. I would probably try and get another Crate or something to replace the Cyclone, just so they all match. That's just a suggestion. I mean, you don't necessarily have to. I mean, those weapons would all work okay together, except for the fact that I think the Basilisk and Crate require you to lead ahead. And since the other one locks on, that might actually work out okay. It looks like you got some nice pilots overall. I would work on getting some better drones, but yeah, that's really not a bad hangar. I mean, in Diamond League, that's probably beating some people up really good. I just want to say what's up, everyone. Thanks for coming out to the hangar review stream. I hope you guys are all having an amazing day. I know I don't interact with the audience as much because hangar reviews take up a little bit of time, so I'm trying to squeeze as many of these in as possible. So I'm just trying to focus on reviewing these hangars for these streams. Alright, so we got somebody with no name here, an expert. Alright, so we got a level 1 Crisis. Level 1 robots will never do. You need to level that guy up a little bit. And I don't know about those weapons. I think I would work on getting some different weapons for that as well. I wouldn't put any resource into those weapons at all. Those are weapons that you're probably going to outgrow those very, 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 very quickly. I think the Crisis is good if you get the right weapons on it, but those probably are not the right weapons. So we got an Arachmid Invader with mullet tees. I would look at replacing those weapons as well, but the Invader is awesome. I don't know about this Nether. What's you can't fight with that. I mean, I guess you could grab a beacon really quick with it. That's a very interesting build. I don't know what to think about this. I really don't know what to think about this. I mean, I kind of want to try this. It would be great for beacon running, I guess. If you can get to the beacon first, you might be hard to kill, but yeah, I don't know about that thing. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have no comment on that at the moment. A Mugi with mullet and mullet tees. That wouldn't be my first choice, but I could actually see somebody playing those weapons on the Amugi. And the Behemoth, I think that needs some different weapons as well, so Mason says you skipped a few. Yeah, unfortunately, the YouTube chat never stays put for me. It moves, so. So unfortunately, some people do get skipped. So that's why I say don't spam your ID, but if I don't get to you, you'll know if I've skipped you or not, I hope. But so this hangar needs a lot of work on the weapons and levels, I would say. I mean, you got really nice robots in here. The robots are great, but yeah. I noticed you don't really have any drones on this either. I might be looking at the wrong hangar, actually. I'm guessing that's the wrong hangar, but that's the one that pulled up. So if you look at this, yeah. So you got a great setup on the Dagon. You got the autopilot. All right, that's a nice setup. Got a great setup on the Ophion. We got a really good setup on the Ravena. Regular Orkans are terrible, but the special editions are beasts. So you got a Lynx with stakes. And Dagon with, yeah, I mean, I don't have anything to complain about here. This is a really good hangar. For somebody an expert, this is you are too overpowered for expert league, okay? This is too good of a hangar for expert league, so you'll be moving up into masters pretty quickly, I bet. Yeah. I don't have any suggestions for this. This is just set up really, really well. So you've done very, very well with this hangar. Now, the other hangar I was looking at a minute ago, not so much. But this is pretty good. Sorry for my voice sounding horrible today, guys. I apologize. Alright, so here's the next review. So we got a level 19 Newton with some really awesome weapons. So looks amazing. Just maybe get those leveled up a little bit more when you can. We got a Mugi with really nice weapons on it. No complaints about that other than level them weapons up. We got a Kefri with awesome weapons. We got Ochi Kochi with really nice weapons. Ophion with great weapons. And a Raven with really nice weapons. So, yeah, the pilots are good. Your drones look good. So, the only thing I see here is maybe level some of these things up a little more. I mean, I have no real suggestions or complaints about this. This is a hangar I could easily take into Champion League and play, so. I assume you're running a phase shift on the Amugi. That's probably why you have a glider on it, but yeah. It's a nice hangar. I like it. I like it a lot. If you happen to have a paralysis drone, maybe try the paralysis on the Ophion. A lot of people love the paralysis. But I also think the Shy drone is good on pretty much anything. This is probably one of my favorite go-to drones. Like, I could run this drone on any robot and I would like it. I mean, it's a really awesome, just general drone. So I'm not saying you should change it, but if you happen to have a paralysis, try both and see which one you like better. Alright, so it looks like Technical is next. Guys, I'm trying to get as many of these as I can in. I know it takes a little while, but I'm trying to get as many as possible. Alright, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Thank you for coming out to the stream, everybody. Alright, so we got Mark II Ochi Kochi. You are a Masters player. Good weapons. So I would either try and get another Splinter or another one of the DOT or Rust weapons, just so they all matched. But mixing up those DOT and Rust weapons with those shotguns worked really good, but I don't know if I would want to have just one shotgun. that's not something you need to change. That's just a small suggestion. So Crisis with Reapers. All right, level them Reapers up. We got a Dagon with Scald. Personally, that's a interesting combination of stuff. And I think that would work pretty good, honestly. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty nice. I would maybe think about trying to replace one of those with another Magnetar, because I think you want to at least have two of those to make them lock people down faster. The only reason I say that is because of the lockdown. I think two Magnetars will lock down way faster than just one. But that's actually a cool setup. I mean, I think those weapons will all work really well with each other. Even though it's kind of a Frankenstein build, I think those all work. Alright, you got Lynx with Redeemers, you got a Harpy with Bendy Bullets. I mean, the only thing I really see here that I would say needs attention right now is some of the levels on these things. Like, you know, level 4 Reaper, level 5 Reaper, those are pretty low. Level 4, level 5 weapons for Masters League. I think you want to be getting all your weapons up into like level 8 to level 10 levels, so. That Crisis is only level 1. I would definitely level him up as well. So, yeah, the main thing I would work on here is your levels. I mean, I think everything you got here is pretty good overall. Not a bad setup. Let's get Nexu. Alright. Yeah, good stuff. Overall, I like it. I think you'll do pretty good with that hangar for the most part. Level a few things up and that hangar will be beating some people up. Alright, I don't know what your name says there, but let's check it out. So you are in Gold League. Alright. So you got Aminos with those horrible... Oh wait, those are Pantagruels. Okay, never mind. I don't really see a problem with that. I'm not sure if I would like those weapons on there or not, but I do think those are nice overall weapons if you play the robot right. Hey, we had a donation. Thank you so much. Alright, I will grab yours next since we had a donation. Thank you, buddy. Ashes, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Alright, so we got Hwanjis and Hornets. Personally, I don't like these weapons, but I haven't tried these weapons on the Crisis, so... I've heard a lot of people say they are liking these weapons on the Crisis, so I'm not going to complain about this one. I would have to play that to really know what I thought about that. So you got a Skyros with Mace, Hammer, and Blaze. I would probably try to replace the Blaze with another shotgun. Or if you can, get some of those like spike needle weapons. Because they will give that Skyros a shield. And when you're in the ball form, it'll make you way harder to kill. So if you're going for durability, get the harpoon weapons that give you the shield. If you're playing for like just attacking people, I would probably replace the Blaze with another shotgun. So you got an Orochi with 2 Banes. I just made a video about this setup, and it's very fun to play. I mean, in Gold League, that's probably going to rock out and just destroy people, so that's a great setup for Gold League. I do think when you move up in the leagues, though, you're definitely going to outgrow the Orochi, so that's just something you want to keep in mind. Right now, I don't think you need to change it. Great Gold League setup, but you will outgrow it eventually. Alright, so you got Kepri with Scatter, Needle, Needle, Cremola. Cool, I mean, that's pretty good. I would probably try and get something else for the Cremola or the Scatter, right? I would try and get another Scatter, honestly, or another Cremola, just so that matches a little well. So the needles are going to give you a shield, and they're going to work well with just about any other weapons. So I would just want at least those two to be matching. That's just a suggestion. I mean, overall, I think that's going to work pretty decent, to tell you the truth, but I would much prefer to have two matching weapons, like 2 and 2 would be good. You have links with incinerators. My only complaint about incinerators is they have kind of a long reload time. If they're working really well for you, keep them, but me personally, I would want something with a shorter reload time on top of my links. If it wasn't for the reload time, I would not complain about those weapons. I think they're overall pretty good weapons. But yeah, I mean, for a gold hanger though, your hanger's awesome for a gold player. I mean, the levels are decent, the robots are decent. I mean, yeah, you're gonna be rocking some stuff out with this. So there's just a few things to think about in the future as you move up, like you will outgrow the Orochis. So yeah, nice hanger. You know, you got some lousy drones on a couple of them, but you know, drones are one of those things that takes a while to get, so you'll get better ones as you go. But yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. But that's looking super amazing for a person in your league. Alright, so Odia Boy, thank you so much for the donation. I'm probably saying that wrong, but let's check out what you got. So you're a champion player. Alright, so you got the Ardent Auto Spear Nether. Ardent Auto Spear Nether with a Kestrel drone. That all works awesome together. You got an Ophion with dampers and deceivers and a Deltaki. I love it. Another Ophion with the Labrys. Alright, so I see there's no pilot on that Ophion. Unfortunately, pilots are, in my opinion, pilots are very, very important, because if you don't have a pilot in the skills, normally the robots can end up being really squishy. I would definitely work really hard on getting another pilot for your Ophion ASAP. You know, you can throw a different drone on it when you get a chance, but I would really work hard on getting that pilot. I think the pilots are way more important than drones. Alright, so we got a Prisma Behemoth with an auto. I don't think the auto is going to work with those weapons, so that's just something, you probably already know that. More than likely, you already know that's how that works. So, but the good news is, even though the legendary skill may not work with the weapons, you still got all the rest of the skills that do work. So, you can't really complain about that. I mean, it would be ideal to have a pilot that had a skill for the robot. Maybe if you got like the Andre pilot, but that's not something you really need to change. It's just something you might want to change at some point. So you got the Warrior Typhoon with the Rose Lynn and some pulsars and a beak. Not bad. So if you happen to have another Kestrel drone laying around or a Paralysis drone, I would try those out. The beak's actually pretty good, but I think on this guy, I would prefer to run the Paralysis with those weapons. It will lock down people almost instantly. But there's nothing wrong with the beak. That's just a suggestion. If you have it, try it. If not, just keep running that because it's fine. So then we got a Newton. I mean, everything is looking really, really good here. So some of your levels are a little bit low. You know, like you got Mark II level 2 weapons. It's not that expensive. Okay, well, actually, I don't know if did they ever change the prices back? It used to be somewhat inexpensive to get the levels up to like 6 Mark II, but I don't know if they ever changed the prices back. But I would definitely work on leveling up the weapons a little bit. I mean, I have very few actual suggestions for this hangar. I mean, it's looking very nice overall. But the biggest thing I see here is no pilot on the Ophion, and you could probably level those weapons up just a little bit. I would really try and get everything up to at least, all the weapons up to at least level 6 Mark II. I think around somewhere between level 6 and level 8 Mark II is where weapons and robots really start to shine in Champion League, I would say. But overall, I mean, that's a great hangar. I think you got a good thing going there. So, yeah, not bad at all. The darn YouTube chat moved again, so it just skipped over a bunch of IDs, guys. I'm sorry. It does that from time to time, so I don't know where I was at, so I'm gonna have to start where I'm at now. So if I skip over you guys, remember, feel free to post your ID again. Just don't spam it over and over and over and over again, guys. I do my best on these. It's not easy as you may think to do this. All right, Hero Brian. Oops, I hit the wrong button. What did I just request you for? I have no idea. Please don't join our clan, because somebody will probably kick you out. Like, they want you to have they're only accepting champion players, I think, with like high-end hangars right now. So I think I accidentally invited you to the clan, but if you join, don't get mad at me if one of those other guys kick you out, because unfortunately they probably will. Yeah, you got a bunch of Mark 1 stuff. They would definitely kick you if you join, just to let you know. They're very picky about who they're letting into the clan these days. Alright, so for Masters player with Link's Decay Redeemer. Alright, yeah, I mean, those two weapons don't match, but they work very well together, so I think that's a good setup. You got Ochi Kochi with Havoc, Magnetar, Tamer, and Havoc. Okay, so the only thing I don't like here is you got one single Magnetar. And that's not going to lock people down very fast. Maybe try and get another like Tamer or Trickster type of weapon instead. It's not something that needs attention right away, because there's nothing wrong with this setup whatsoever. Personally, I would just prefer to have those two weapons match a little bit better. But yeah, I mean, I could play that no problem and do very well with it. So that's not something that's really needed to be changed. That's just a small suggestion, okay? So Ravena's got Havoc, Havoc, Shatter. The only issue I have here is the Havocs are going to be reloading when your Shatters are firing off. I would probably say try and get... I don't know, man. If it's... that could work out good. But if you're having problems with the reload times not matching up for you, if you're having an issue with like, well, I don't have ammo on this, but I got ammo on that, maybe try to get another Havoc. But that's definitely very playable, but just mind that the reloads are going to be weird. So I would prefer to have a triple Havoc or a triple Shatter myself. But I think that would work if you're patient with the reload times. Personally, those reload times would drive me crazy and I would work on changing it. But that's just a personal thing. Alright, so you got a Harpy with two Scorchers and a Smuda. Personally, I don't really love these Scorcher weapons on there. But the problem I really have with this is the Smuta's a bendy machine gun. In order to make the Smuta do the most damage, you're going to have to aim to the left or the right and make that bend. And then your Scorchers aren't going to be hitting, so those weapons do not work well together. I would probably try to replace the Smuta with something else. I would either... I mean... I think those weapons actually work halfway decent. Even though I don't like those weapons, I think they're okay on the Harpies, so I would find a different weapon that works with those Scorchers, because the bendy machine gun is only good with other bendy machine guns, in my opinion. So that's something I would say needs attention quickly. And then you got the Reaper Crisis. That's very good. I mean, you got nice pilots. Your drones are all good overall. I don't know if I like that particular drone on the Lynx. I would rather run like a Beak or a Showdown on it, but hey, it'll definitely work for now. So that's another suggestion. You got a Rook with Vajra Pantagruel. I would try and get another Vajra for that, and maybe level that up a little bit more when you get a chance. But yeah, that's a nice hangar for Masters. So I do think your levels need to go up a little bit more. Start trying to get like all your robots and weapons to at least level 8 or 9. And then once you hit level 8 or 9, try and get the weapons to 10, then the robots to 10, then the weapons to 12, then the robots to 12. And then start Mark IIing everything. So that's how I would go about working on this hangar right here. Nathan says, should I spend more money on the hangar? I can't tell you whether or not you should spend money on the game. You don't necessarily have to spend money on this game to do well. You just have to have stuff that's good. There's a lot of old stuff that's still very playable. I mean, of course, it's not as good as the new stuff, but I lost my train of thought. But spending money is not a necessity. You just need to have a good hangar with good levels. I'll tell you guys what, so over the last 2 months, I haven't leveled a whole lot of things up on my account over the last 2 months. And I was able to play enough to get 2 billion silver in 2 months. Now, that does include me having the Operations Pass resources, though. Just so you guys know about that. So, between having the Operations Pass and playing, and probably a couple boosters when they give them to me, I was able to make 2 billion silver just playing the game in 2 months. So, if you play enough and you do well, you can really rack up some silver. Alright, so we got a Behemoth with Avalanche. You know, I don't love the Avalanche at the moment, but it's not a bad setup. So, personally, I would want to change those out to something else, but it's not a necessity. If that's working for you, by all means, keep it. But if not, I would look at maybe getting like, if you could get 4 of the new like DOT and Rust weapons, that would be crazy. Or 4 of like the Bersants, or 4 of the radiation weapons like the Blights, the heavy version of the Blights. I always forget what they're called. But there's nothing wrong with that setup. It doesn't fit my playing style, but it works. So you got a Lynx with Redeemers, love it. Aljun with Punchers, I mean, that's a good setup. I had a really good time with that. I mean, eventually you're probably going to want to replace that Aljun with something else. It's not the greatest robot, but if you play it very, very, very carefully, you can have a really good time with the Aljun. It's not ideal, but it will work if you need it to, if you're good with it. Alright, so you got Fafnir with Scotties. I find Scotties to be, there was a time where the Scotties were amazing, but I find the Scotties to be very underwhelming myself. Now, Fafnir is another one of those robots that's actually really good, but it's not an easy robot to play. So, if you find yourself doing well with it, by all means keep it in your hangar, but if you're having a struggle with that robot, it's just a very, very hard robot to play. There are a few people out there that are great with it, but most of us have a hard time with it. So I don't like those weapons, but the robot may or may not be for you. That that's something I can't answer. Now, if you put a traditionalist skill on this, it feels more like a Typhon, like a slower version of the Typhon, and it's kind of cool if you put a traditional skill, but you'll lose the ability to fly. So that's just something to think about here. So we got a Smuda Razdor Harpy. I'm all about that. Taking a look at the pilots and drones. I mean, those are nice pilots. I mean, this pilot, is that the correct pilot? I always get those. Yeah, that's right. Cool. Never mind. For some reason, I always get that pilot mixed up with another one, but that's the correct pilot. So I think I would much rather run a beak drone on the Harpy, or maybe a paralysis to lock people down, but Armadillo is not bad. That definitely would not be my first choice. But overall, though, I think I like what you have going on. But I do have a couple suggestions for that Aljun and that Fafnir right there. So, I mean, your Behemoth, your Lynx, your Harpy all look really good. But I would definitely work on getting different. If you like the Fafnir, definitely work on getting different weapons for it. The Aljun, personally, I think I would replace that completely with something else and just use that for a robot to put in every once in a while when you're interested in playing it for fun. So I don't love the Heimdall. Some people really are loving it, so I'm not going to complain about your Heimdall. I mean, if you're doing well with that, by all means, keep playing it. Cinders on a Heimdall can do very well if you're having luck with it. Alright, so the YouTube chat moved up. Come on, YouTube, stop that. I lost my place on the IDs, so unfortunately, I'm going to miss a couple. I really do apologize, but it does this constantly. And everybody, thank you for coming out to the stream. I appreciate you guys being here so much. I'm sorry that I don't interact with the viewers, but it takes away from the hangar review time, which is very time consuming, so. Right, so you're an expert. Hey, why did that stuff just disappear? Did you guys see that? There was some information up at the top of the screen and it just disappeared. That's weird. Alright, so you got Terrans and Acestus on the Fenrir. I'm not going to complain about that one bit. I think that's a cool setup. The ranges don't match, but I like the Terrans. I think they're nice weapons. I like the Cestus, but the Cestus is very low level. Good drone, good pilot. Alright, get that Wasp off of your Typhon, I would say. So, I'm going to be honest here. I don't have a good time playing the Typhon with those close range weapons. That setup does not work for me whatsoever because Typhon is a very squishy robot. If you're doing well with this, by all means keep it because it's a really good setup. Some people can play that, some people can't. I cannot play that, so I don't like it. Ashes to another donation. Thank you. Yeah, that's really weird. I wasn't able to see your drone or pilot. That's really strange. It must be a glitch, man. So I'm glad you actually have a drone and pilot on that. So yeah, that's much better knowing that. So now the darn YouTube chat moved again. Darn it. Now I've lost where I was at. Hold on. Okay. So Skyros with Spike, Devastator, Scatter. No complaints there. You know, those weapons don't match, but they work together just fine, and that gives you a little bit of a shield, so I like it. You got a Ravena with Havocs. Awesome setup for the Ravena. Scorcher, Wasp, Scorcher. Okay, I would try and replace the Wasp with another matching weapon. If you like the Scorchers, try and get another one. If you don't like the Scorchers, maybe look on getting some Tyrans or some Magnetars or something. But if Scorchers work for you, they're really not bad weapons. Overall, I just don't like the reload time on them, and I'm not a fan of rocket weapons myself. So I guess I'm a little biased about most rocket weapons. But the main thing I see here that would be a problem for me would be this Typhon setup. I don't like it. You may love it. But if you like the Sonics, I would get another Sonic and get that Wasp off of there. If you don't like the Sonics, maybe build some Magnetars in the workshop, or try and get some of the new Rust and DOT weapons, or even some of the shotguns like the Splinters. I know the Splinters like the medium one, but get the medium version of the Splinter. You guys know what I mean. I have a hard time keeping track of the medium, heavy, light names because there's so many weapons in the game now, but alrighty, guys and gals. But yeah, I mean, you got a nice hangar going on here overall. It's not so bad. Not so bad at all, guys. I enjoy it. I like it. Pretty good. Alright, so Yusuf, you posted your ID twice in a row. Please don't spam it. Just don't spam it, guys. I see somebody else spamming it. That's not going to help you get reviewed, so that's just going to make one of the moderators probably time you out or something if they see you're posting it over and over like that. Like, if I don't get to it, feel free to post it again, but don't post it like 3, 4, 5, 6 times in a row, please. One of the moderators probably will time you guys out if you spam it like that. Alright, so Ultra Yusuf. Ultra Yusuf. You are in Masters. You got a Minos with really nice weapons. Those weapons need leveled up, but looks awesome besides that. You got a Sonic Lynx with a Kestrel. Like it. Alright, Scorpion with Sonics. Super good setup. Curry with Punchers. I don't know if I've played the Punchers on the Curry, but in a lot of ways, I think that would be a really cool setup. Even though those weapons kind of suck at doing damage from a distance, they would be good for doing a little bit of damage and locking people down. And then, yeah, you got your turrets that drop on the ground too, so I don't think those are the right weapons for that robot, but I think they definitely work until you can change them to something else. That's not like a necessity, that's just a suggestion. Havoc, Devastator, Havoc on a Fenrir. If you're good with that, by all means, keep playing that. That's a very brutal setup. Crisis with Reapers. Alright. So the main thing I see here is your levels can be a little bit higher on some of these things. I mean, for a Masters player, most of your stuff is really good. I mean, the majority of your weapons, like you got a level 3 puncher, I would work on getting that level 3 weapon up to at least like level 8 as quickly as possible. I mean, most everything's looking pretty good for a Masters hangar. You got some stuff into the Mark II. Most of your levels are at a nice place. You got pretty nice drones on everything. If you can get a whiteout for the Scorpion, that might be a better choice than the Nebula. Nebula is cool, but I don't think it's really the right fit for a Scorpion. For the Fenrir, if you happen to have a beak, I would probably put the beak on there. For the tanks, I think the beak is a really nice older drone that gives you a lot of extra durability when you go into stealth. I find the beak really gives the tanky robots more survivability. So I do have a couple suggestions for you there, but overall, that's a pretty nice hangar. I mean, it looks pretty nice. It's really not bad at all. I mean, most of your stuff is pretty good. I like it. I could definitely play that hangar if I were down there in Masters League. Personally, I don't like the super close range on the Fenrir because it moves a little bit slow, but a lot of people don't mind that whatsoever. So, yeah, if you're comfortable playing those close range weapons on a slow robot, that'll kick some people's butt if you're good with it. So all right, so Ahmad's over there spamming up the chat. Please don't spam, my friend, but it looks like you are next. All right. So which one are you? I'm gonna go ahead and guess Ahmad is probably Ahmad, right? That would just make sense. So that's the one we're gonna go with. All right, DK Behemoth. Very nice. All right, you got that pilot and that drone on there. I think that's really good. Levels are looking okay. Not bad. Scorpion with Havoc. Okay, I would definitely get rid of the Keystone and get another Havoc for your Scorpion. Maybe not a Havoc, but the whatever the scatter. I would get a scatter to put on there. You got a Lynx with punchers. I am not going to complain about that. Punchers are no longer the best weapons, but they work. I mean, if you get some Bursants or some of the new Subduers, that would be better, but there's nothing wrong with the punchers. Level 9 Ivory Ravena with spikes. I would much rather run sonic weapons on here myself. I think the best weapons you can get for the Ravena is actually sonics. I don't know why, but if you get good with the sonics, Ravena just dominates. It's a very, very deadly weapon. Spikes are not bad on there, but I don't think they're as good as they used to be now that they deal less damage per second. So this is not a necessity, but a suggestion is maybe change those out to sonic weapons. Unless if you're really liking those and they're working well for you, don't worry about that. But if you're kind of having your doubts on those weapons, go with the sonics. Alright, halos. Unfortunately, I would say try and get something other than the halos. Maybe try and get 2 Magnetars or 2 more Scalds. Scalds are great weapons. Like the light version of those rockets have a really short reload time, which is good. But personally, I just feel like halos don't do enough damage these days. So I would try and replace the halos as quickly as possible. I do see a couple things that could probably be leveled up a little bit more, but yeah, I mean, you're an expert. You got a really nice hangar for expert. Your drones are looking nice overall. Your pilots are looking pretty good. I mean, eventually you're going to want to get better drones for these two. Now you got 2 retaliators and 2 Tonans on the Ming, so retaliators unfortunately kind of suck. I see they're level 1, so yeah, I don't think I would put too many resources in those if you don't have to, because retaliators are lousy these days. Now, Ming is okay, but it dies too easily for me. Ming's definitely not one of my first choices for a Titan these days. So yeah, I would probably look in to get something other than the Ming, honestly. It's gonna work for now, but I would much rather be running a Luchador or a Rook or a Minos or an Indra right now. If you're having fun with it and if it's working out, don't worry about that for now. Keep it until you feel like, hey, this robot's just not doing good anymore. Everybody, thank you so much for being here. Like I always say, sorry I'm not interacting with the viewers as much on these hangar reviews, but it just takes so much time for the hangar reviews. We got to get as many in as possible. So we're going to get random person. I'm doing my best to get as many of these as I can, guys. Alright, so you got Fafnir with dampers and deceivers. I'm not going to complain about that. If you enjoy playing the Fafnir, you're doing alright there. If you're struggling with the Fafnir, then maybe change it out to a different robot. I don't like it, but it's got great weapons. If you play it right, it'll do just fine. If you don't play it right or you can't get the hang of it, then maybe change it to something else. Alright, so you got a Mugi, definitely needs upgraded more. You got Shatters on there. The only problem I see here is the robot and weapon levels are too low for masters. Alright, we got Invader with shotguns. We got Corona, Ultimate Glory, Ultimate Glory. So the regular Corona, in my opinion, is a piece of junk. I would put just about anything else in place of that Corona, honestly. The Ultimate versions are great. The Ultimate versions, I know they kind of match, but they actually don't, because the Ultimate shotguns are big damage dealing monsters with nice reload times. I feel like that one regular Corona is actually holding you back. I would put almost anything on there in place of that, honestly. If you happen to have like one of the spikes or needles or whatever, maybe throw that on there to get the shield. Or if you happen to have like a mace or a cudgel, I think it's a mace, it's the medium one. If you happen to have a mace, that would work. A Tehran would work. I would just replace that with something ASAP because those are very weak weapons. So it looks like you need to get a new drone for your Ravena. I would suggest putting a beak on there or maybe a glider if you're running a phase shift. So you got the Eiffel with some crazy weapon setups. I don't know. I feel like Eiffel is a really good Titan that plays from a range. Argon. What is an Argon? What the heck is that? Argon. Oh yeah. I'm having a brain fart here. Alright, so you got 2 Oxys, 2 Veyrons. So my problem with this is Oxys are a very short range weapon, and this is a long range robot. I think those are not going to work well on this robot in my opinion, because it's kind of a glass cannon. It's a very squishy Titan overall. I would really want stuff with at least a good 500 or 600 meter range on this thing. So I think I would work on replacing those. Now I've never played the Veyrons or the Avoras on this, so I can't really tell you how well they do. On Eiffel though, the new bendy machine guns, the new homing machine guns seem like the way to go. I know some people playing like the Tonins and Fulgars on there and they really like it, but I think I would definitely look at this weapon setup and make some changes here. I mean, the Veyrons, that's another weapon that's going to do very little damage from a distance, but a lot of damage up close. So I just don't think this is the right weapon setup for your Titan. I mean, I really like the Eiffel, but I think he really needs weapons that deal the most damage from a distance to play him properly. So that's the main thing I see here is I would work on those Titan weapons. Maybe replace the Fafnir, but only if you're not having good luck with it. But overall, everything is looking pretty good here, except for there are a few things that do need leveled up a little bit too. So my main focus would be getting different Titan weapons. I know that's probably much easier said than done. I do understand that, but that's kind of how I would look at that, okay? You can only get what you can get. You can only do what you can do in this game, so I can give you some suggestions and my thoughts, and then, you know, you can work on it if you can. I know it's not easy, guys. I know it's not easy, but they don't make a lot of this stuff easy to get at all. All right, so Raven Hamza Ravian. I'm probably saying this so completely wrong. Anyways, we're gonna review your hangar. Oh my god, we got the ultimate Sonic Spectre. Wow. I don't have a comment on this because I don't know if I've ever played the Ultimate Spectre with those weapons. Now, the regular Spectre is a squishy turd that's going to get stomped really fast, but I've actually had pretty good luck when I've been playing the Ultimate version, so it's kind of a cool robot. Whether or not those weapons are going to work well on there, I mean, you're going to know that, right? You've probably had a lot of playtime, so you're going to know how well that works, because I don't. I can't really tell you. Personally, I don't think I would like that setup. But at the same time, I could see it being really good if you played it correctly. But I don't think I would like it personally. I don't think it would fit my playing style. But if that does fit your playing style, I think that's great. Alright, very good Fenrir setup. Maybe level those levels up a little bit right there. That Fenrir looks great though. We got Redeemer links. Level those levels up on the Redeemers. We got Cudgel Scald, Cudgel Hammer. Alright, a little bit of a weird setup on the different mix match weapons, but on the Angler, I think that'll work just fine if you level some of that stuff up a little more. Hellburner with Blaze and Ember. So personally, I would get something else. I would get something better than a Hellburner. Hellburner is one of those things that I really do enjoy playing occasionally for fun, but it's not something I would want to keep in my hangar constantly. Now, for a Hellburner setup, that's a great Hellburner setup. I mean, there's really nothing wrong with it. The barrel drone, cool. That's a great drone for that one. Now, personally, my main suggestion here would be do something with the Hellburner. Maybe you have another robot. Maybe that's just something you already put in just for fun, but very good Mino setup. I would say just level those levels up a little bit more. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. I mean, overall, it's a nice hangar. Personally, I don't care for the Hellburner, but I think I could play the heck out of everything else on here, so level some things up a little bit more and possibly change out the Hellburner for something better. That's really all I got to say about this one. I mean, everything's good. The pilots look good. Yeah, nice setup overall. I mean, I put builds like this in my hangar all the time just to play them and have some fun. So maybe that's what you're doing there, or maybe that's all you have. I don't know. All right. I mean, I would maybe throw that other Fenrir in there, honestly. But yeah, if you got that in there for fun, sweet. Or if you're really having good luck with it, sweet. All right, Duster Man, let's grab your ID. Again, I'm trying my best here, guys. If I skip or miss some IDs, I'm sorry, Mr. Beasts. All right, you are a Diamond player. So you have a Loki with Scalds. I can't complain about that for Diamond League one bit. Loki's one of those things that I really enjoy playing occasionally, but in Champion League, I wouldn't want to have in my hangar all the time. So you got a Lynx with Stakes. That is a great diamond setup. You got a Nightingale with Blights, Rasdor Scorchers. Personally, I don't think the way these weapons shoot and reload work together, so I would look at getting I would probably look at getting like all of the radiation family, like the blights, to put on here. I think that would be really good on this. Or maybe try and get two more of those bendy machine guns, but I don't think these weapons work well together. So that's something I would say you want to replace ASAP. Now, Nightingale in general, that's a robot you're probably going to outgrow once you get into the higher leagues. You do see a few Nightingales floating around in Champion League, but not very many. It's definitely playable, but there are better choices for the higher leagues. So I find recently Erebus has been doing really well, so I have no complaints about your Erebus as long as you enjoy playing those Prismas. I mean, some of that stuff needs leveled up a little bit more. Fainter Spike Labyrinth. So if you enjoy playing the Fafnir, this is another robot that's really hard to do well with in the higher leagues, so you may outgrow this robot. I mean, in Diamond, this hangar is going to be rocking it out. This is going to be an excellent hangar in Diamond, guys. But I think once you move up in leagues, you might outgrow the Fafnir and the Nightingale pretty quickly. And the Loki, I would probably say you're probably going to outgrow that a little bit as well. But so looking at your pilots here, you have a Bernadette Wolf on Nightingale. I know pilots are a pain to get and drones are a pain to get, so if you do happen to get a Fenrir, Bernadette Wolf is excellent for Fenrir. Not really the most ideal Nightingale pilot, but there's nothing wrong with throwing a random pilot on there. You know, if you don't have a pilot for something, there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing that. So I don't really have any complaints about that. As long as you have good pilot skills on it, that'll work just fine on there. So you got an Indra with really awesome weapons. Level that Indra and those weapons up when you can. Like, Indra is currently a really good Titan, and those are currently extremely good weapons. So that is that's currently a Titan setup that can do very well in Champion League right now. So when you move up, unless something changes, that's a great setup on your Titan. So there's a few suggestions for you. Awesome Diamond Hangar, but I do think you will outgrow some of those things as you move up in leagues. So for right now, I think you're doing pretty good. Why does the YouTube chat do this to me? It keeps changing things. Alright, so yeah, I do see people spamming, guys. Like, Jerry, you are spamming like crazy, man. Anybody spamming like that is going to be timed out, guys. That is really, I mean, I know you guys want your stuff to be reviewed, but please don't spam it. It completely just disrupts the chat, guys. I'm doing my best here. I know it sucks that I can't get everybody, and it sucks that it takes so long, and I actually don't like hangar reviews because it's just kind of chaotic. It's kind of chaotic. It's, I don't know. I don't like doing these, but I know people want their hangars reviewed, so that's the only reason I'm doing this. Even though I hate this. Alright. So the YouTube chat did move on me again. If anybody spams, you will be timed out. I might have to set up the Nightbot to start timing people out if they're spamming, because I don't know. It's not cool to just to spam something over and over and over and over again. All right, Maverick Dynamite. You are a diamond player. Level 12 Dagon in diamond. Oh, that's nasty. You got needles and a Kispos. All right. I don't know if I've ever played those on there, but I don't really see an issue with that. I'm not really sure. You know, you got one weapon that doesn't really match or go with anything, but hey, you got 6 weapons on this thing, so one mismatched weapon ain't gonna kill you. You know, if you find that this setup's working for you, it looks pretty good, honestly. I mean, of course, you would need to level some of those up a little bit. I mean, I don't like the needle weapons that much anymore. I think eventually you might want to look at replacing them with something else. I mean, I would much rather run like magnetars on here, but I could easily play that if everything was leveled up properly. Alright, so you have 1 Havoc, 1 Punisher, 1 Spike, and 1 Typhon on a Typhon. Okay, that needs some major work. That's, none of the things match well. The ranges don't work together. The reload times don't work together. That's just kind of a... Some Frankenstein builds work. I don't feel like this is going to work. So for your Typhon, I think what I would start doing is building 4 Pulsars in the workshop. I would start building Pulsars because they're really awesome on this thing, and those are probably one of the best workshop weapons you can get. Or if you're lucky enough, or if you have a nice looking wallet and you want to try and get some of the new weapons like the Subduer, Trickster, or whatever they call them, those new rusted DOT weapons, that would be pretty darn good on there as well. But if you can't get the new stuff, I would definitely work on getting 4 Pulsars from the workshop for that. Alright, so a Lynx with unknown decays and stakes. I think I would try and get another decay to put on top of there, or better yet, maybe 2 Redeemers. 2 Redeemers on top of there is really good. 2 of the Bersant weapons on there is really good. 2 decays would be really good. I mean, that's not really a bad setup, but it's not my preferred setup. I could easily play that if I needed to, so it's not something that needs attention right now. That's just a suggestion for that one. But a level 1 decay though, I mean, a level 1 weapon's not going to do you very well. Even in Diamond League, I'd try and get that at least to level 6 if you're going to keep using it. So for a Diamond player, try and get all your robots and weapons up to at least level 6. And then, you know, then kind of go from there, but you at least want to have level 6 stuff in Diamond, I would say. Alright, so try and get another Reaper for your Crisis. I don't really have a problem with Tyrans and Magnums being ran together, but Magnums are just kind of so-so weapons. Magnums don't do very well these days, so just keep that in mind. They're very weak old school weapons. The Tyrans are still really nice. I mean, Tyrans aren't the best weapons in the game, but they're definitely very playable. They pack a nice punch. And the Magnums seem to work nice with them, but you would be much better off trying to get maybe like 2 Magnetars to run at those Tyrans to lock people down. Or maybe 2 shotguns like the Cudgels would be really good. But I would definitely try and replace the Magnetars eventually. Now, Raven himself is a really cool robot. I do like the Raven. And there's nothing wrong with that setup. I think it's very playable, so that's just something you want to work on later. The first thing though is Typhon's a really good robot, so I would work on getting better weapons for that Typhon that matched better. I have no complaints about your Titan for Diamond League. I mean, this is overall a great Diamond League setup. What does that pilot do here? Lynx, okay. Lynx has quantum radar. Yeah, I mean, this is a nice setup. Overall, for a Diamond League player, you can play the heck out of this thing. But I would definitely start working on this and maybe eventually work on replacing those two, the two Magnums. But yeah, that's not bad. That's a good Diamond League hangar. All right, so MS. Let's grab MS. Search for players. Sorry if I'm missing anybody, guys. This is not as easy as you may think. What the heck, dude? Recruit 3. What is that? What is Recruit 3? I'm not familiar with that league. Hold on a second. I can't look at the leagues right now. What is Recruit? That must be... Wow. Did they add some new leagues down at the bottom that I don't know about? Because I don't think I've ever seen anybody in Recruit. Alright, so you have 3 robots right here that I wouldn't spend any resources on. So you are brand new to the game, or maybe you just made a second account, but so this is my advice for you, right? These are not good robots, right? These are what you're going to have to use when you're starting out. But I wouldn't put too many resources into any of these. So what you want to do is learn what weapons and what robots are actually good. I mean, as a new player, you have to use what you can get. And it's not a bad idea to put a little bit of resources into these. Maybe level these things up to like level 3, level 4, level 5. Just because you're going to need to have something to play with for now. But you want to find out what weapons and robots are going to be good once you go into the higher leagues. And when you start getting the decent stuff, that's when you want to start dumping resources into it. So you don't want to put too many resources into things that aren't that great, because as you move up into the leagues, eventually you're going to get up into higher leagues. So you need to focus on things that are going to work once you move up. Hold on a second. So yeah, just start figuring out what your play style is. Do you like close range weapons? Do you like long range weapons? And then figure out which weapons that you think will fit your play style are going to work for you later on. I mean, this is one of those games where it takes a long time to get everything, but eventually you will get a bunch of stuff. It just, you got to have a lot of patience or spend some money on this game, one or the other. But I mean, for a new player, yeah. And the main advice I will give you about this current hangar is do not spend any gold on anything until you have all 5 hangar slots open, because it's very important to be able to put 5 robots in eventually. Once you have all 5 slots, you can kind of do what you want with your gold, but it's very important to be able to have 5 robots. You won't need them at first, right? You're not going to need them down in your league or once you get into the bronze league, but once you move up a little bit, you know, once you move up a couple of leagues, you're going to be like, oh man, you know, all 3 of my robots died and I'm out of the game and there's still like 6 minutes left, so you will need all 5 hangar slots. That is very important to have. All right, Bruce 50. Diamond player. A Mugi Mark II. That is too powerful for Diamond League, sir. So I'm guessing you probably spent some money and bought these, or you're very, very good with your resources, one or the other. So I don't expect your hangar is going to be in Diamond League very long. I'm pretty sure you're going to be moved up out of Diamond quickly. I would not be surprised if a lot of people are reporting you for too powerful for your league here. So don't get too upset if that happens, because you got a very nice hangar. I mean, Pixonic's not going to ban you if they see, like, you know, if they see you're doing everything legit. They're not going to ban you if you are getting reported, but just make sure you're not intentionally, like, staying in the lower leagues with this hangar, or you could get banned for doing that. But this is very powerful. This is too powerful for Diamond, having these Mark II robots. So I expect in 2 or 3 weeks, you're probably going to be up into, like, I don't know, at least like a much higher league soon. So you got a Mugi with these laser weapons. I don't particularly like the laser weapons. The only reason I don't like them, they're good weapons, but I feel like they run out of ammo way too fast, and then you have to let them cool down. So I personally would try and replace those with something else. You've got those on the Harpy as well. I mean, they're definitely going to work in Diamond League, but I think once you move up to the higher leagues, you're going to want to look at maybe something different. They're not necessarily bad weapons, but they don't work for me very well. But I just think the reload time is an issue on those. Or the cooldown / reload type of deal. But you've got those on almost every robot. Yeah. So one thing I wanna say though, this is kind of a message to everybody. I don't think you want to have too many of the same robot or too many of the same weapons in one hangar. It's nice to have a little bit of variety of different things. Like, even if you're getting all of the new stuff, I mean, Pixonic's eventually going to rebalance the new stuff. And if all you have is like a buddy of ours has nothing but Ophians in his hangar right now, and that's an excellent robot. But unfortunately, when Pixonic finally decides to rebalance the Ophian, I think that's really gonna hit him hard. So I think Adrian tells people the same thing. Don't focus too much on one weapon type or one robot type unless you're a really big spender. Because if that weapon type doesn't work well in the higher leagues, or if it gets rebalanced, that's going to be really hard on you. So, I mean, for Diamond League, this is going to be kicking people's butts big time. So I see Nightbot is timing people some out. So guys, that thing is designed to moderate if you're spamming, or if you're typing the same type of message over too much, it'll get you. But personally, I think that, man, I hate to say it because you have so many of those things. I just don't think they're that great of a weapon these days. I mean, if it were my hangar, I would just have to know that once I move up into the higher leagues, those weapons may or may not work well for you. That's just something I gotta say here. You might start realizing, hey, I don't like these weapons once you move up. Like, I hate to be the bearer of bad news because that's almost all you have, but I think you're going to start to struggle eventually with just running nothing but those. But the robots are great. I mean, it looks like you get decent pilots on all of them. You might need to work on getting a couple of drones, but I just think you're going to run into some problems eventually. You might not. Maybe you'll be one of those few people that play those weapons and love them in the higher leagues, but the majority of people aren't really into them at the moment. So the robots are great, but I think I would work on getting some different weapons. A little more variety in weapons is a very good thing. All right, Tushar. I'm sorry that each one of these reviews takes as long, guys. I'm trying to squeeze in as many as possible. We're going to go for about another 20 minutes. I wish I could get more in than I can, but I'm doing my best. Alright, so you are an expert player. You got a level 7 Hawk with Claw, Incinerator, Shredder, Gecko. I'm sorry, a Subduer. Okay, I would be working on replacing the Claw and the Gecko. Maybe try and get another Subduer and another Incinerator. I mean, yeah. Hold on. Which one's the Claw? Is the Claw the heavy? Yeah, maybe try and get 2 of those matching rocket weapons for your Hawk. So Hawk in Champion League isn't one of my favorites, but it still works. Just remember, it's not the best Champion League robot right now, so once you move up in the Champion, you may or may not still like the Hawk, but it's definitely playable if you're good with it. But I would try and replace, at least get 2 matching light weapons. I don't like the Claw or the Geckos. I think they're both very underpowered right now, so that's a suggestion for this robot. You got a nice pilot on it. It does need a drone. Eventually going to want a drone. I would probably look for a paralysis drone or a beak drone for the Hawk. Probably the beak. We got a Mugi with Deceiver, Sting, and Mace. So Stings aren't the greatest weapons in the world. That's something you might outgrow eventually. But there's nothing wrong with a Sting overall. It's just something you may want to think about replacing in the future. But it'll definitely work for right now. It's an interesting build on the Dagon. But the way the Dagon works with all these weapons, I mean, you can run some pretty wacky stuff on it. The only real issue I see here is Punisher has a 10-second reload time. That sucks, but when you're matching it with all this other stuff, I think it works. I mean, I think it all works. Needle has a very short range. The other stuff has a little more range, so honestly, I could run that. I could run that setup in Champion League if it were leveled up a little more. So, yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I would probably try and replace the Punisher, I think. But it's definitely something I could play, no problem. Links with stakes. I don't think the stakes are the greatest weapon anymore, but you can definitely play them easily. So that's not anything that needs attention. Like eventually you might want to replace those with something else. The shield is nice, but they do low damage per second these days. So you got a Harpy with a Scotty, a Hornet, and a Fainter. Okay, that needs some work. So in my opinion, Scotties are very underpowered for the amount of reload time you get. Fainters, same thing. I don't like Fainters or Scotties at all. I think they're both very underpowered weapons. Hornet has a really long reload time. Even though the Hornet type of weapons do work on the Harpy, they definitely would not be my first choice. So I would start working really hard on getting different weapons for your Harpy. If you can get some Pulsars or some Blights. Ooh yeah, the Blight type of weapons are excellent on the Harpy. Those radiation weapons. So if you can throw So Devastator, Blight, and what's the other one called? You guys know what I'm talking about, I hope. But the radiation weapons, I would definitely look at getting those, or maybe some pulsars and magnetars for him. Those are my 2 favorite Harpy setups, or even the bendy bullets work really good on the Harpy. So those are the 3 main weapons. Now, I don't think I played Harpy with the new weapons like the Devastator and the Trickster. I would assume that's probably really darn good as well. So you got a Heimdall with Lantern, Retaliator. I would probably try and work on getting all matching weapons. So Retaliator these days, unfortunately, they kind of suck. They rebalanced them a while ago, and unfortunately, they're not very good after the rebalance. Alright, so there goes the YouTube chat. It did it again. It moved on me. Son of a butt. I try to get the IDs in order as they come in, but unfortunately when the chat moves, I don't know why it keeps doing this to me. Then I've lost my place and I don't know where I was, so then I have to start back at the bottom. I apologize if I'm missing anybody's stuff, guys. This is not super easy to do. Too many people posting IDs for the amount of time that it takes to do this is the problem. So unfortunately, I know I'm not going to be able to get to everybody, but I'm getting as many as I possibly can. I'm trying very hard. I apologize if I miss yours or don't get to yours, but I'm trying, okay? Too many IDs is bad, okay? Alright, so we got a Champion League player here with a Ophium with Labrys Mark II. Great drone, great pilot. You got 2 Shatters, 2 Tamers on an Ochikochi with a Hiroko. Yep, good. You got Crisis with Reaper. Good stuff on that. Personally, I don't know if I like that particular drone on there. I don't feel like it does enough to help him out. I would look at getting a Kestrel, because when you get a Kestrel drone on there and you get a couple of kills racked up, the Crisis runs so fast, it's unreal. So if you'd like some extra speed, maybe try a Kestrel drone if you have it. There's nothing wrong with that drone, I just don't think it's the best choice. So that's just a suggestion. Alright, so you got Dagon with Magnetars. Alright, I like it. I like it. Again, I don't know if that's the best drone for him, but it could definitely work well. I think a beak might be something. You know what? A beak or a shy drone I think would be really good on that. Beak to put him in stealth. The more I think about it, I think I'm going to switch my Dagon to a beak instead of the Seeker that I've been running. I think the Dagon would really benefit from getting that stealth from the beak. Alright, so we got Ochikochi with Deceiver, Splinter, Deceiver. I mean, you got a great hangar here. I can't really give you anything other than maybe a couple of suggestions and say work on your levels a little bit. I mean, Champion League, you got Mark II level 1, that's a little bit low, right? You want to get those levels up. Great Titan setup. I mean, I don't really see anything that needs attention other than your levels could be higher. Everything else looks really good. I mean, there's a couple small suggestions, but that's about it. That's a good hangar. Very nice hangar. Works well, actually. I could play the heck out of that hangar, I think, if it was leveled up just a little bit more. Search for players. Anik Kambink. Anik Kambink. It's kind of a cool name. I like it. It's got a cool sound to it. All right. you are in Masters. You got Mark II emoji with Trickster, Scotty. All right, I say ditch the Scotties, replace them with maybe some Polestars or something that matches the Tricksters. Seraph with 2 decays. I would probably try and replace the Seraph with a different robot, but I'm gonna tell you what, that is a good Seraph setup. If I were playing the Seraph, I would have no complaints about this setup at all. Great Seraph setup. Don't love the Seraph in Champion League right now, but it is definitely playable. It is definitely playable. All right, so another Seraph with decays. You got a Del Taki on that one. I would definitely work on getting those weapon levels up a little bit. Typhon with Pulsars. Yeah. Level them Pulsars up a little bit, and that's going to be a really good setup. Shotgun Skyros. Yeah, I mean. So personally, I would at least try and replace one of the Seraphs. Ooh, I would probably put that either your Fenrir or your Kepri in there to replace one of the Seraphs, honestly. Or maybe replace both with those. I mean, you may be an excellent Seraph player, so if you're a really awesome Seraph player and that thing's kicking major butt for you, ignore what I'm saying about changing them out. But if you find that you're struggling, I'm guessing since you have 2, you're probably really liking them. So yeah, if you're a good Seraph player, by all means keep playing them, but that's just what I would do. All I can do is go by my experience in Champion League and how things, work out for me when I play them, so. There may be some people out there that can play the hell out of a Seraph, but I'm just kind of a okay Seraph player at the moment. I played it the other day and it did okay. It was okay. It wasn't great, but it's an okay robot, I think, at the moment. Yeah, so there's a couple of suggestions. I mean, everything else looks pretty darn good for the most part, except for maybe get some stuff leveled up a little bit when you can. All right, hopefully Butt Kicker is the right person. Butt Kicker. I like it. Okay, Corona. I don't think the Corona fits with these hazards at all. So get rid of that Corona ASAP and get yourself another hazard. And that will be a really nice Typhon setup. Maybe try and get yourself a paralysis drone, or a paralysis drone. It would probably be my go-to for this guy, I think. Or a shy drone. Either one of those would be super good, I think. Levels definitely could be a little bit better. So they're not bad. I mean, for Masters, I think those are a little bit under-leveled. So you got Havoc, Viper, and Cudgel. Alright, so if you're not coming out of the ball very often, that would work fine. The only concern I would have here is when you go into the ball, does the Viper reload if you didn't run out of ammo? If it does reload, I would be able to play this build no problem. I don't know, some weapons don't reload when you go into an ability like that. So as long as that Viper reloads when you go into the ball, I would be all about that setup. I mean, the Viper's cooldown sucks, that 10-second reload sucks, but on a robot that you're in the ball a lot, that would work just fine. The Viper does great damage, it just has a long cooldown. But I love the Viper, honestly. So you got a Mugi with a Labrys, Quarker, and Fainter. I would try and get another Labrys or maybe a Nucleon to replace that Fainter. I think a Quarker and 2 Labrys would be a cool setup on the Mugi, so maybe try and get another Labrys to replace the Fainter. Personally, I find Fainters to be too underpowered for the higher leagues. But besides that, it's not bad. Havoc, Toxin, Toxin, Havoc on the Ochikochi. That'll definitely work really well. If you can get a Hiroko drone, it really does make the Ochikochi much better. I don't have any issue with a barrel, but Hiroko really makes the Ochi better. Then we have an Erebus with a Hell, Hornet, and a Decay. I would at least try and replace the Hell. Hell is a very underpowered weapon in my opinion. I would probably try and get 3 Decays on here, or 3 Subduers if possible. Or even 3 Terrans. But if it were my hangar, that's what I think I would do right there. What pilot is that? Okay, yeah. Overall, pretty nice. Sharenga with a Mahavajra, Gargantua, and Basilisk. I don't think I would like that weapon setup on the Sharenga. There's nothing wrong with it. Personally, it might just be I don't know. I think I would rather have matching weapons, but I think that's definitely playable for now. But I think the first thing I would do is try and remove the Corona, level some of this stuff up a little bit, and then, you know, I had a couple other suggestions here and there. But yeah, overall, I mean, that's pretty decent for the most part. Maybe not perfect, but definitely very playable. Alright, so we have Zico. Didn't I just get yours? Or did I not? I feel like I just did this hangar. Let me look. Oh my god. I read shatter as a bad word, and I almost said a bad word there. I think I've already did your hangar. Didn't I? I mean, looking at what you got here, that's a kick butt hangar right there. I don't really see any issues other than some of that stuff needs leveled up a little bit. So if I did your hangar already, sorry. If I didn't, then man, level some stuff up a little bit, man. Like level 1 Labrys, Mark II level 1 is a little bit low. But besides maybe a couple levels, I don't see anything here that really needs any attention. That's some good stuff. Yeah, some levels. Get a few things leveled up a little more and you're ready to rock and roll. That's a overall really nice hangar with good weapons, good robots. You got good drones and pilots. Yeah, no major suggestions there. Honestly, that's really good. That's really good. That thing's ready to kick some people in the butt. All right. So let's grab another ID. I'm sorry, guys. I know I'm not getting all of these in order and perfectly because the YouTube chat keeps changing on me. I'm doing the best I can. We got time. We got time for like 1 or 2 more. So if I wasn't able to get yours, I am so sorry. But guys, for me, this is really stressful and chaotic trying to squeeze all these in. Rank -1. What is that? I don't know what that means. I've never seen that before. Rank -1. Huh. Alright, so you're a champion player. I don't know if that's a glitch or what that is. Rank -1. Alright. Fenrir. Giftbringer Fenrir. Damper, Viper, Damper. I like it. Viper has a crappy reload time, but it's a really awesome weapon once you can overlook that. So now, I don't think the Reviver is the right drone for the Fenrir because you're going to get so much gray damage by the time you die. You're only going to come back to life with a teeny bit of health. So I don't like the Reviver on a tank. I think it's good for a squishy robot, but not on a tank. So I would look at getting a big drone or maybe like a Hiroko or a Pascal or a Shy to put on this guy. So Crisis, that thing dies so darn fast. The Reviver is the perfect drone for the Crisis. I like it on there. Good pilot, good weapons. Aries with Razdor, Kamala Razdor. No complaints. Not my first choice for an Aries, but definitely very, very good. Alright, great drone for Aries. Aries dies so fast. When he does go down, you often can revive with a nice amount of health. So Dagon with Magnetar, Tamer. Very good setup. Ophion with Dampers. Alright. Now that's kind of a drone you're going to want to replace eventually, but the only thing I really see here that needs any immediate attention is for a champion player. You do want to level some of this stuff up. Like Mark 1 weapons and champion, not so great. Even Mark 2-1 needs to go higher. So yeah, your levels here need some attention. Eventually replace that drone. But overall, this is a really good hangar. Alright, so please don't spam, guys. Yeah, I don't really see a lot that needs changed on that. That's very playable. So unfortunately, this is probably going to be the last one. We've been going for about 2 hours. I gotta pee like crazy, and unfortunately, I got a lot of stuff I gotta get done today, and so I do see somebody is spamming. I don't understand why the bot has not timed them out. It should. But if nobody on YouTube is going to want to deal with people spamming. You're going to get blocked from channels. You're going to get timed out. Nobody is going to want to deal with spamming, so don't spam on people's chats, guys. That is very disruptive to the stream. It takes the fun away from the other people on the chat. Everybody in the chat will hate you. All right. Alright guys, unfortunately I think this is the last one I am going to have time for. I really do apologize if I was not able to get to yours. This is not easy for me, okay? This is not easy for me to do. It takes too long to do these for as many people as want their things done. So I wish I could get to them all, but unfortunately I can't. Hold on a second. Let me do something really quick. I got an idea. We're gonna do this last one here. Window capture. There we go. Filters. Check this out. This is what I'm going to do for these from now on. Filters. Color correction. Where's the color correction? Let's make that a little bit see-through. There we go. So people can kind of see what's going on, and we've got the ending soon screen up. So that's probably not super pretty to look at, but all right. So you need to get this 5th hangar slot unlocked. So Galaxy Eclipse. This is the last one for the day, guys. I am sorry. You need to unlock that last hangar slot. You got a Mark II Tier. Tier is a cool robot. I mean, it's not really the greatest once you move up into Champion League, but it is definitely playable. It is definitely fun, and I can do very well with it with the right weapons. So you got 2 Terrans, a Kisphos, and a Blight. So personally, I think right now Tier works best with longer range weapons with a good 500 or 600 meter range. Yeah, I know you guys can't see, but the stream is about to end, guys. I'm sorry, but I don't have time for everybody's. I wish I could, but it's so many people wanting reviews, it's just impossible to get them all. So this is just to let you guys know the stream is about to end. I wish I could get them all, but it's just not possible. Alright, so you got this Mugi with Blights and Hazards. That's a great setup for the Mugi. Everything's at a good level. That's a little bit... Yeah, that's overpowered for Diamond League. So right now, that doesn't need anything. You got a Rochi with Versant and Stakes. A Rochi is a robot that you're eventually going to outgrow, just so you know that. I wouldn't put too many resources into the Orochi. For Diamond League, it's very good. But once you move up, I think you are going to outgrow that robot. So that's just something you want to keep in mind before you dump too many resources into it. So you got a Lynx with 2 Exodus. What the heck is an Exodus? Oh, those are those... Huh. That's interesting. Man. I don't know. I haven't played those in years, so I can't tell you how good those would do, but... I'm going to have to try those weapons out. Lynx is great. Last time I played those weapons, they did really good, but I don't know if they're still good or not, so I don't have much of a comment on that. But yeah, you definitely want to get that last slot leveled up. There's a couple suggestions for you. You got a Luchador with a really good setup, so that's a really nice Luchador. I mean, overall, this is a great Diamond League hangar. But there are some suggestions for when you move up in leagues that I think you'll need to keep in mind there. But for Diamond, yeah, that's going to kick somebody's butt. Get that last slot open. Oh, wait, you got another hang... Oh, Cossacks. Cossacks and the Nodens. All right. Yeah, once you get that slot, you really should have spent the gold to get that 5th slot open instead of bought the 2nd hangar, in my opinion. But it is very important to have all 5 of your robots. Unfortunately, I gotta get up and move and do stuff, guys. I have an autoimmune disease. My immune system attacks my muscles and nerves, and if I don't get up every couple hours and walk around and move, like, I locked up to the point where I can barely move. So I gotta get up and move. I'm sorry, I can only do about 2 hours on these streams, or I would do much more. I mean, that's why you guys don't see me on the webcam, because of that. If I were able to stay here and lay without torturing myself, I would stay here and do more of these guys, but unfortunately, you know, I'm a disabled guy with some really nasty autoimmune conditions, so I gotta get up and move and do stuff. But I'm just sorry I can't get to everybody. I know everybody wants a review, but there's too many IDs for the amount of time. I appreciate all of you guys coming out to the streams. I really do. Thank you so much for being here. You guys are super awesome. I really do appreciate it. But I'm going to try and do one of these hangar reviews every other week. I know it's chaotic. I know it's crazy. I know not everybody gets the review in, but yeah, I wish we could make it somehow differently, unfortunately, but it's very hard. All right, everybody, thank you so much. You guys are amazing. I appreciate y'all. Don't forget to get entered into that giveaway. We've got a big 100 Eiffel Titan giveaway going on right now. I'm going to have a 50 Dagon giveaway coming up. And I think on my Saturday stream, I found a way to work the gift codes to give out some of those more subduers. So if I get up somebody's player ID, if the player gives me their ID, their platform, I can actually type it all in myself and send them the prize with the code. So that's how we're going to do it next time. Hey, WizBiz, what's up, man? Nice to see you. But yeah, unfortunately, you're coming at the end here. I've been going for 2 hours. I got to get out of here. So thank you guys so much. You guys are amazing. Lighting out. Have an amazing day. And we will catch you next time, all right? Later, everybody. Thank you.